Start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. My name is Officer Rock out here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and today is the Tuesday Brotherhood class. You understand? Give me 1 second before we get started. Go ahead and like and share this video to all platforms. We gotta do our part to spread this word to the 4 corners of the earth. You know what I'm saying? Got to give the next brother and sister to your left and the right to have the same opportunity that we all have. Everybody that's watching this feed, that's these classes and whatnot, to make to get themselves right. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, what we're going over tonight is what our oppressors' end is going to be according to the Bible. First, we'll start off with identifying who that oppressor is, and just so for y'all that are watching, if you guys want to get right to where we're going to start at, it's going to be the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 25, and we're going to start from there. Make sure you all, like and share onto all your platforms. If y'all in a Facebook group or anything like that, share it to the Facebook group. You know what I'm saying? Like, push this out to everywhere. Hey, Shalom, Little Christ, Trooper Yara out there in Dallas. Sign Christ, I'm glad to see you in the class. Before we do start, and this is a poised question for both the classroom and online. If there's a question, if anybody has a question, let's go ahead and try and knock those out now. If you're online, make sure you type it into the comment section, and when I see it, get to it. I'll answer to my best ability, and if I can't, then I'll be sure to find someone who will get the answer for you. Whether I get it to you next week, or you ask it in the Thursday breakdown class, or even tomorrow. I got a couple more. Young man, you got that? You there at that verse? 25, Genesis 25. Con. Yeah. Don't sign Christ. All right, give me 1 second. Let me get there as well. And then finish sharing this. Sis, you had just walked in. I had do you have any questions before we start the class? I mean, I can see us on the Facebook. Yeah, it's wild. All right. So with that, looks like there's no questions. So like I said, we're gonna identify who our oppressor is today, and just for those that are just now tuning in, because I see a couple new numbers. We're on the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 25. Young man, read it when you got it, Baba Kasha.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 25.
Go ahead.
And the first came out red.
He came out what color?
Red.
Go ahead.
All over like a hairy garment.
Like a what?
A hairy garment.
Now, who in here can tell me what's the significance so far from, in just this verse alone, of the identification of, you know what? Hold on, Salakia. This is what I want you to do. I want you to go up to, let's start at, verse 21. Salakia. Read it when you got it.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 21.
Uh-huh.
And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife.
Okay, do you know what is that saying already? Can you tell me, young man? That Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife. So what was Isaac doing?
I'm not sure what entreated means so much.
You got it, sis?
He was praying or talking.
Okay, so he was right. He was seeking the Most High for, praying to him, like you said, sis. Go ahead, read on.
Because she was barren.
So what was he praying to her for? Or praying to him for, Salakia?
She was barren.
Meaning what? What does it mean for Abraham's Salakia, Isaac's wife to be barren? Go ahead, sis. She couldn't have children. So basically, so far, what is this prayer that Isaac is sending up to the Most High? Go ahead, young man.
So that she can conceive, basically.
Basically, right? Go ahead and read on.
And the Lord was entreated of him.
So, what does that mean that the Lord was entreated of Isaac? So now the Lord is entreated of Isaac. So first Isaac entreated the Lord. So Isaac was seeking out the Lord's attention for the Most High to listen to him for what, basically what he's asking for, right? And I'm walking you into it. So
Basically,
who is he? And speak up, Baba Kachab.
And the Lord, Most High, was talking to Isaac.
Not necessarily talking to him, but so Isaac prayed to the Most High, asked him in regards to his rib being barren, right? Let's read the last part and then we'll revisit that question to you, young man. Go ahead.
And Rebekah, his wife, conceived.
Okay, now read that part from "and the Lord." Read that, all of that together, and finish out that verse.
And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived.
Okay, so Isaac entreated the Most High, right? Because his wife was barren. So when the Most High entreated of Isaac, what does that mean for the Most High to entreat Isaac?
It's basically.
Think about the context now.
I guess basically like answer his prayer, give him what he wants, basically.
Exactly. He answered his prayer. He gave him what he wanted so that his real Rebekah would be able to conceive a child. Because isn't that what it says right there? That his wife conceived? What does it mean to conceive?
To have a child.
Right. To be basically, bear a child in your womb. But didn't it say before that she was barren? All right, so we understand that, right? All right, Most High Christ, read on verse 22.
Verse 22.
Uh-huh.
And the children struggled together within her.
Okay, so it said, first off in 21, it said that she conceived, right? But then in 22, off the rip, it said, read that again.
And the children struggled.
And the what?
And the children.
And the what?
And the children.
So how many are in her womb right now?
2.
At least, because children is plural, correct? Okay, read on.
And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord.
Okay, so the children struggle together within her. So it's saying, because right now we only know, the only thing that we can say so far with 21 and 22 is that Isaac went to the Most High to, pray for the Most High so that his rib can get pregnant. He answered his prayer, and she was able to conceive, and then she conceived, right? Then, after she had conceived in her womb, she had children, okay? And they're struggling within her, right? So we're gonna find out the exact number and who these two children are. It's a lot. Who these children are in her womb, okay? So, and it said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire the Lord. So when she went to inquire the Lord, what is she doing? Anybody? Go ahead, sis. She was praying. But who did she go to in specific? Go ahead, sis.
One of the priests or the prophets of the Most High.
Right. Give that sister a hand. Most High Christ. So Rebecca went to one of the priests and the prophets to inquire of the Lord. Hey, like, listen, man, I finally conceived. I'm able to have happiness as a woman, you know, bearing a child. But like my children right now, like they struggling within me. Like, what's going on? She went to a priest and prophet of the Lord for them to tell her this is what's going down. And we're going to find out. Read on.
Verse 23.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
2 what?
2 nations.
2 nations are in thy womb. So now we have a confirmed number of how many children that she conceived. So she's got twins in her womb. So these are two children, right? Go ahead.
And two manner of people shall be separated.
And so it's 2. Don't read so fast. And it's 2 manner of people. So off the rip, what is that already telling you right there about those 2 children? We identified now that there's 2 children in the womb, but what kind of children are they in that womb? Go ahead, sis. They are different, but what's also another thing? What's also another? I want to put it. You think you got it? Y'all ain't both y'all ain't wrong. But what's also being described in that portion of the verse where it says in 2 manner of people. So if there's 2 manner of people, go ahead, sis.
So it's 2 different nations. Unlike other twins that are born, they would be of the same nation. The Most High let her know these are 2 separate nations. These are 2 different people, and basically they're not brothers anymore because of that. They're separated. They're separate people.
You want to say something, sir?
No, I was going to say, you're asking about 2 manner, right?
2 manner of people.
Yeah, just saying two people that's going to have, you think a mannerism, they're going to be 2 different type of, they're going to be complete opposites. They're not going to be the same. They're not going to, normally, like you said, if 2 people come out, they're going to come from the same mother and father, they're going to be brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
These 2 people are going to be so separated in their spirit on how they are. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of what kind?
You know what I mean?
No, kind of what kind. Now that's all right, but actually, what the answer is, because we doing a slow little breakdown with everything right there. With it saying that it's 2 manner of people, that in itself already lets you know that this is going to be 2 boys, because you're not going to have 2 separate. You're not going to have 2 manner of people with 2 separate manner of people if it was girls in the womb. Because how do you create a separate nation with two different women with girls? You understand what I'm saying? But y'all are all right. That was just what the point I was just trying to drive across. That it's 2 boys. But Salaki. Moving on. And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. Read on.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
Uh-huh.
And the elder shall serve the younger.
So one people is going to be stronger than the other. One of those twins is going to be stronger than the other. Salakia. And the eldest is going to serve the youngest. Write that down. Keep in mind the elder is going to serve the youngest. All right? Now, read on.
And when her days...
Oh, Salaki, real quick. Also, this is what the priest and prophet of the Lord had told Rebecca to explain to her why that basically from the time of the womb that these twins, that these brothers, that these 2 nations that are sharing the same womb are already at war and basically will always be at, have some sort of feud between the 2 of them. They will be complete opposites, where one will be on top and the other will be at the very bottom, basically. You understand that? Any questions? Most High Christ, moving on. 24.
Verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
And there are twins in her womb. Like we've already broke that down. All right, go ahead and read on.
Verse 25. And the first came out
And the what?
And the first came
And
out
the first. Mind you, this is the first. Read on with the description.
came out red.
Came out what color?
Red.
He came out red. Now, pay attention to the fact that a color description was being brought out. You understand? A color description was being brought out. Read on.
All over like an hairy garment.
And all over he was hairy like a garment. Right? Read on.
And they called his name Esau.
And they call his name Esau. Young man, why is his name Esau? You're not sure? Read verse 25 again from the top.
And the first came
Speak
out.
up.
And the first came out red, all over like an hairy garment. And they called his name Esau.
So why do they call him Esau?
Because he's red, all over and hairy, like a hairy garment.
Yeah, they gave you the answer right there. Most High in Christ. Okay, so now, mind you, let's go back up to verse 23 and start from "and the one people." Start from there and read. Verse 23, and there you go.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
Uh-huh.
And the elder
go ahead.
Shall serve the younger.
And the elder shall serve the younger. Young man, why am I re-emphasizing on the elder shall serve the younger? Let's go back to 25. Read 25.
And the first.
And the what?
And the first.
And the what?
And the first.
And the what?
And the first.
Okay, so let's go back to 23. Right. We'll start from "and the elder."
And the elder shall serve the younger.
What's the significance between them two?
Esau's the oldest.
Esau's the oldest. But at the end of 23, what is it saying about Esau?
He has to serve Jacob.
No, right, exactly. He's going to serve his younger brother. Right? Now go ahead and read 26. Oh, you had something, sis?
I was just going to say, and it lets you know that he is weaker than his younger brother.
No, right. No, right. You absolutely right. Go ahead and read 26.
Verse 26.
Uh-huh.
And after that came his brother out.
Uh-huh.
And his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
Mm-hmm.
And his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
Okay. Stop right there. Now I'm going to start with you, young man. Can you tell me what the difference is between 25 and 26 when Esau was born and verse 26? I'm sorry, 25 when Esau was born and verse 26 when Jacob was born. What's the difference between them two verses?
They didn't give a description of what Jacob was because he wasn't red.
Speak up.
Because they didn't give him a description because he wasn't red and hairy. He was black.
Okay. You are 100% right. But tell me why in verse 26 there was no need to give any type of identification or description, Salakia, a description of Jacob. You're right, because he is black. Because obviously he wasn't like a hairy garment. He wasn't hairy all over. You're right. But why is that a point to make in the first place? Why is that even something to understand in the first place? Starting in what book are we in right now?
Genesis.
What is that? What does Genesis mean?
Beginning.
So we're in the beginning. We're getting an understanding of the beginning. So what is the significance of knowing the description of Esau, being the need to give a description of Esau versus not needing to give the description of Jacob?
Because they're two different nations.
You're right, but that's not where that's not the significance. Hey, Slag, you see me one more time? You see me one more time? Bubble shot. So, yeah, right there, the water. How am I put this? Was Adam or Eve given a description?
Law.
Was Abraham, Isaac, did they have a description?
Law.
Did Noah have a description?
Law.
Now, these are forefathers of Jacob. Tracking on that? You understand? Okay. So why didn't they get a description, but Esau did? Esau came from that seed line, didn't he? Right? Okay, so why is Esau the one who got a description?
Because he came out different.
He came out different. So what does that say about everybody else? Read 25 again.
And the first came out red, all over like a hairy. Called him Esau.
Right. So if he came out different, how did everybody else look for him to be different?
Not like that.
So what did they look like?
They were black.
They were black. They was black, brown. They was blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's the whole point, right? First and foremost, because, just for y'all to understand, today is the Tuesday Brotherhood class. So the biggest thing is for all of us to understand that, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are all brothers and sisters. You understand? So not only that, but what they put in these churches, with these what they put on Netflix and these documentaries and whatnot, when they try to break down the Bible and all these movies, and everybody is, Noah is white and Adam and Eve is white, all that other nonsense. The reason why I wanted the young man to basically break all of that down and have an understanding for himself is also to give an understanding to you viewers as well that, Esau was basically the first of his kind to look that way in the first place. You understand? You understand that? Okay, Most High in Christ. So we read 20. We finished 26, correct? Go ahead and read 27.
Verse 27. And the boys grew.
Okay, so now Esau and Jacob are a little bit older. Go ahead.
And Esau was a cunning hunter.
Now, this is a great verse right now, because a lot of times I had seen on Facebook and social media and stuff like that, where a lot of people, particularly these fake Israelite groups, want to try and, of course, because everybody's so in love with the doggone with our oppressor, our so-called white man. They want to try to say that Esau is the Arab, is the Arabian man. When majority of them is, a lot of them is darker than, our Judite brothers and our Benjamite brothers and our Levite brothers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they darker than us. Now, mind you as well, I'll give you the fact that they hairier than a garment, but as far as redness, I don't see that on them. You understand? But with this helps dispute that. What Arabian man, what Arabian culture in general prizes themselves as a hunter? Hunts animals to extinction. At that. That's how much of a hunter Esau is. He's a cunning hunter, a smart hunter. That is his game. Being a hunter is Esau's thing. And just a quick little sidebar, Esau's hunting game goes so deep that, do this real quick. Look up a nigger hunting license and tell me what year that is. The so-called white man, our oppressor, Esau, loves to hunt so much that not only does he hunt animals into extinction, but this man hunts human beings as a sport. And mind you as well, he's a cunning hunter. Cunning. Salakia, sir. Would you do me a favor? Could you look up the word cunning, Baba Kasha, while the young man looks up a nigger hunting license?
Cunning.
Go ahead.
Having or showing the skill in achieving one's ends by deceit or evasion.
Whoa, hold on, Salakia. Can you read that again from the top?
Cunning. Having or showing skill in achieving one's ends by deceit or evasion.
By deceit or evasion. Esau is a cunning hunter. He is a hunter that shows his skill through deceit. Now, mind you, of course, to be a good rabbit hunter, you have to know how to set the trap and then, cover it up, cover your tracks. The bigger the animal, depending on what it is, especially if it's an animal like a deer, because when they're bigger, they have, they're a little bit more keen to getting themselves caught in a trap. They identify different scents. And some of those animals that are more seasoned, they know to stay away from certain scents. But Esau is a cunning hunter, so he specializes in deceitful traps. You had something?
Yeah, I was gonna say Esau. Just all you gotta do is turn on. If you got cable, the goddamn I forget the channel to come on, but it used to come on where they be doing all the little hunting things where they all in full fatigue. Man,
it's like some sort of hunting channel. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Channel, man. It used to come on. It used to be like late at night or whatever.
Yeah.
One of the infomercial channels or whatnot. And Esau in the goddamn blended in with every environment as, and from being Salaki in the military and just how far they go to blend in with the environment. And I've seen even the sniper training on which I think you was bringing that up before me talking how they where I don't know if this is a movie or whatnot, but to make a long story short, they were pretty much had to get close to the person
right
without them noticing
right.
where they was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, or whatnot. And,
right. And
I seen that. It's crazy. I think after we had that conversation, I seen that on a movie or some show or something I was watching. And I was like, man, they really do this where they fire off a shot.
You thought I would lie to you?
No.
That's a lie.
No, it was just crazy seeing it in person. How
no, right.
They fired off the shot and they had a person have to find out where it came from.
Right.
But that person is trying to get close as possible to the instructor, and they couldn't find him. They literally couldn't find him. That's how cunning when you talk about deceitful he is in his environment. So it just goes to show you when it comes to black people thinking that the revolution from watching that goddamn Judas and the Messiah movie. I don't know if y'all watched it yet.
I did not.
But how they feel as if, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna get a revolution by going to war with Esau. Not knowing that Esau be in your damn backyard, looking like the damn tree. You understand?
Right.
It's ready to kill you. You know what I'm saying? And he will go to that extreme measure of, you know what I'm saying? If it's wintertime, if you in Chicago right now in the snow, Esau might be in a goddamn snow pile.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With all white on.
No, kind. Right.
With a goddamn sniper rifle.
No, right.
If you're not thinking like that, you don't understand. Like you say, the Arabs and these other people who they're trying to put as Esau, they don't got nothing on you. Ask Saddam Hussein. Ask Osama bin Laden. Ask all those people who went to war with Esau to find out who was the better hunter.
Kind. No, which bring out it is mighty heavy. You know, Salaki, young man, did you find that?
He's one of the year.
Just okay. Google image a nigger hunting license. Google image that, and then we'll read off what you have to fill out, and then somewhere on there should be a date on it of some sort. But hold your point, sis. Salaki, with you know, just to go back on, you know, the traps that these that Esau, you know, his cunning huntingness, like Esau goes so far into it that when he is hunting animals, he goes and collects the urine of, let's say he's hunting a deer, hunt a female's. He'll go find what are they? They're called a dawn, I believe they're called a doe. They're called a doe. A female deer is a doe. They'll collect the urine of a doe, so that way when they sprinkle it on the trap, the buck is gonna come. You know, he'll go through his path and he's smelling that. You know, he's smelling that doe. He's like, "Oh, I got me one with a fat booty too." But nah, that's Esau right there with his cunningness, with his Salaki. So do you still have that that definition? Can you read that one more time?
Having or showing skill.
His skill. Go ahead.
In achieving one's ends by deceit or evasion.
So obviously, we're not talking about evasion right now. We're talking about his skill in deceitfulness. Go ahead, sis.
I just wanted to say on that, when you were asking about the Arabs, if they were, Esau is the only person on the planet that kills the way there's not another set of people that just kill everything the way that they do. They just hunt down everything.
And to caveat off your point, Esau's the one who killed off the elephant. They're not completely killed off just yet, but the elephants out in Africa, because the ivory. And we had a discussion about that because, you know, Esau's got he got a little complex with his what he lacks that, you know, Israel is most definitely sufficient in. You understand me? And, you know, a lot of cultures believe that ivory gives you a boost to something, you know, to basically get like Israel. That's why ain't nobody please they women like an Israelite brother. You understand me? But with that being said, did you find that, young man?
Okay.
All right. Go ahead and read me like the details of filling out a hunting nigger license.
So you need to have it.
Speak up.
You need to have it issued by a county clerk or a warden.
A county clerk or a warden.
You need your address, what color hair, age, height, sex you are. Also says that it's the season open from January 1st to December 31st, so all year.
Oh, this is an annual. It's a one-time thing. It's damn near just as good as a fishing license. You get a 12-month license to come and hunt one of our brothers and sisters, our so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native American, because yes, you Mexican man, Brazilian man, Native American man, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American, we all one people. They all look at us the same. And that they got to do a one-time fee. Does it say what the fee is on there?
No,
I hold your point, sis. I see you.
I haven't seen anything about a fee.
Do you have a year on that came from?
On one of the website system, 1995.
What? Salakia.
Yeah,
Hold on now. Okay, sis, go ahead.
Okay, so it says that piece was found back in the 1920s, but
Okay, so 1920. That's still the 20th century. Go ahead.
But the thing that was just like freaking me out is that the license, it does not expire because it says from January the 1st it opens and it closes December 31st. So if it closes on December 31st, then January 1st it opens up again. So
now, is there any type of annotation of the year that you had bought the tag?
No, it says seasons open January 1st, closes December 31st, which means it never stops because right after the 31st of December, January 1st comes again. So it doesn't close.
Now, you said that what you found was supposedly in 1990?
Yeah, I found a whole bunch that keep saying 1995.
1995. Now, mind you, I'm going to do a little bit more research myself just to see if I'm going to actually see if I can get my hands personally on a license like that so I can bring it into class, especially if it dates back to just 25 years ago? Yeah, shit, my old ass. Shit, I'm only 2 years older than that. Go ahead.
If I may, sir, they said the memorabilia dates back from the 1920s, but what he's seeing in 1995, it was called the Good Old Boys Roundup. So the ATF had a
Salakia says, real quick, Salakia. I want you to repeat that one more time. Who was doing a roundup?
It says the ATF, which is the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, called the Good Old Boys Roundup.
Say that one more time. The good what?
The Good Old Boys Roundup in 1995.
Don't we got a group going on right now called the Good Old Boys that is basically trying to integrate Hispanics right now, primarily the Ephraimites, whom of which are known as the Puerto Ricans today? It might be the wrong group, but I believe that's what it is. But regardless, it's a good old boy roundup. That sounds like something Trump is involved with, if I may. But, okay, we kind of sidetracked just a little bit too much. Salakia. But with that being said, with all that's been said and done, we all have an understanding that Ishmael is who he really is. The Arab ain't no doggone cunning hunter. Just like what the officer had just brought out. Man, if he was so cunning, why Osama bin Laden get caught? Or Saddam Hussein, or however the hell you say that. The only cunning hunter I give credit to is Barack Hussein Obama. Because hell, he trapped a whole lot of us niggas with his presidency. But, at the same time, that was with the help of Esau's hunting agenda. I pray y'all understand. So with that being said, we're going to move on. So read that from the top, Baba Kashaf. Verse 27.
Verse 27.
Uh-huh.
And the boys grew.
Uh-huh.
And Esau was a cunning hunter.
A cunning hunter. We already broke that down. Go ahead.
A man of the field.
A man of the field. Whew. Salakia. Quick sidebar. Man, so I was in the military from 2014 to 2018. I didn't realize how much that the so-called white man did not like to shower until I joined the army. You ask any other brother, you ask anybody really that has any sense of cleanliness to themselves. So again, we'll go back to any other brother or sister that served. That so-called white man, or mind you, because I did serve with some Hamites, some Africans, they do not. That field day, being a man of the field, when you go out into the field, Esau does not like to shower. It's like, ooh, I ain't got to worry about that. I ain't got to worry about nobody smelling me. Because then I can just sit there, oh, that ain't me. That's him. But of course, we just went over the fact that he's cunning. He ain't just a cunning hunter. He's cunning, period. Young man, real quick, find that scripture that says the most subtle beast of the field. And then I also want you to pull, you know what? I'll pull the definition while you get that.
The most what?
Most subtle beast of the field. Oh man, that's crazy. That is a beautiful thing. Ooh, that's a beautiful thing right there. You got something, sis? Go ahead.
So like this, sir. So
Mm-hmm.
for everybody who thinks that the UPK is wrong,
Mm-hmm.
now this thoroughly explains why they have no problem killing us. The police officers, you know, they have this license.
I was gonna get on that, but go ahead.
You know, I mean, it might be invisible, you know, but they have the license because from the 1920s to now, January the 1st to December 31st, I mean, that's every year.
Right.
It never stops. So killing us is just, it's fun to them.
Right. That badge that these policemen have, where they're literally hunting our steps. Mind you, what was the key word of what I just said? Hunting our steps. They are hunters. They are cunning hunters. They are so cunning of a hunter that when they kill you, when they go and shoot Tamir Rice on a doggone whatever camera footage that you got, they can shoot and kill a 12-year-old child and walk away like nothing happened. The judicial, and what I mean by that is the judicial system allows them to walk away. Think about that, y'all. You got that?
Come on.
Go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than the beast of the field. Subtle than any beast of the field.
Oh, no, you're right. It's subtle. I'm sorry. Salaki. Okay. So read that again from the top.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field.
Okay. So he was more I believe that is actually subtle. So Salaki. He was more subtle than any other beast of the field. All right. What does subtle mean? I already pulled it for y'all. So subtle, elusive, a subtle aroma, or cunning or crafty. How else do you describe the type of hunter that Esau is? Literally, aren't we already? Somebody else check YouTube. We might be too wild. All right, I think we too wild because it just fixed itself. So like it. Him being a man of the field, being subtle, like it's all coming together, is it not? Does anybody in this room or even online, somebody online got a dispute about who Esau is, especially what we've already read so far? Like, please write that in the comment. Let's have a conversation. It's like we ain't got a conversation, but allow me the opportunity to cut you with these scriptures. Because I mean, we already reading it, and I know nobody's gonna accept that challenge because I mean, before you even start, you already cut it. Because ain't nobody else fits this description but who? The oppressor, the so-called white man. Right. So okay, go ahead and read on Salaki. A man of the field. Go ahead.
Which the Lord God had made.
No. Salaki. Go back to Genesis 25 and 27.
And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. Go on to verse 28.
And Jacob was a plain man. Now, mind you, we had already described that Jacob, we already figured out that Jacob is a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man. But he is the forefather of what is called today the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Salaki. He is who gave birth, who gave seed to his 4 ribs. He is the forefather of the 12 tribes. You understand that? Okay. So his spirit is, he's a plain man. Like, I don't need to do all that stupid, how Esau like to jump off of bridges and, you know, base jumping and all that crazy. Oh, I need to hang my, you know, hold my girlfriend over the Eiffel Tower and she's just holding on to my arm. And then we're gonna switch around and we're gonna take pictures and videos. Or how they be on them little stupid skateboard things or whatever the hell they call on the edge of the building. Damn near give anxiety to everybody. Like, don't give me anxiety. I just be saying like, okay, I hope you fall. Like, honestly, so y'all can stop making these these doggone videos because they stupid as hell. Like, why you do that in the first place? You're a man of the field. You gotta have that adventure. You have to explore the unknown. Man, Jacob a plain man. He's like, man, as long as I got food in my belly, I got clothes on my back, I got a roof over my head. Hell, my wife or wives are barefoot and pregnant. I got my lifestyle. I got my necessities. I don't give a doggone about all that foolishness where you trying to skydive and do all this stupid crap. Man, that's for the birds, literally. You know what I'm saying? So, and that in itself, that already lets you identify. These are all simple identifications of who we are as a Black man, Hispanic man, and a Native American man versus who the so-called white man is. And mind you, you know, we're gonna go over what the oppressor's end is, and by the end of this class, Lord willing, we get to it. By the end of this class, we're gonna find out what his end is. But first, right now, we are identifying who Esau is. Y'all understand? And again, Salaki, I'm gonna take one moment real quick. For anybody that hasn't done so or is just now tuning in, be sure to like, share, and also subscribe to the YouTube page so that we can push out this push out this word. You know what I'm saying? So that all of our brothers and sisters can come out of, you know, just this worldly nonsense where we believe that, you know, the way of the world, and we'll just put it at that, the way of the world, the way that all these other nations is not, it's not meant for us. That adventure time, you know, BS that we was just going over that Esau loves to do, let's just keep in mind, like, that's not even for us in the first place. You know what I'm saying? What we're supposed to do is come back to the law, statutes, commandments, and follow the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Come back, you know, follow Commander General Yohana. Learn how to, you know, be a man or a woman under Commander General Yohana. You understand? So make sure that y'all like, share, subscribe, whatever platform that you're on. With that, you know, the water. Just wanted to, you know, give a little reminder also for those that are just now tuning in. Baba Kashad. Okay, so go ahead and read verse 28.
Verse 28.
Uh-huh.
And Isaac loved Esau. Uh-huh. But he did eat of his vengeance. So
Isaac loved Esau, but it's basically just because of his food that he brought. Everybody's been saying it. Basically been raised on it. Quickest way to a man's heart, to his stomach. All right, read on.
But Rebekah loved Jacob.
Now, again, we're going to revisit the difference between verse 25 and 26. And basically, we're going to revisit that, how there's a significance between the two of those, why there was a description, there was an identification with verse 25, but not 26. But now we in verse 28. Why is it that we have to know why Isaac loved Esau, but we don't necessarily have to know why Rebecca loved Jacob? Can anybody tell me that? Go ahead, young man. Give it a shot.
Because Esau had to, since he's different, he had to do something to gain that kind of love. Other than Jacob, he's of that people, so it just comes, that love comes natural.
Give this brother a hand. Jacob was already of the people, doing the things that the people did. So of course, you can look at the sisters today where they love a man that is basically in the world. The further in the world that you are, the majority of the sisters, the further in the world that a man is, the more she gonna love you. Yeah, go ahead and be foolish, selling drugs and killing people, do this, that, and the other. I'm all about you. Because that's the world that's the world that sister is brought up in. Mind you, that's the biggest thing you have to keep in mind, because that is the world the sister is brought up in. But young man, what's the world that Rebecca was brought up in? What was her world like? What was her society like? What was her environment like? Describe that for me, Baba Kashai. It's real simple.
They all went by the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments.
I mean, that's pretty much it. Her environment was basically built around mind you, when she had an issue, when she was pregnant with Jacob and Esau, what did she do to find out why she was having trouble in her womb? What did she do? Go ahead, young man.
She went to go talk to someone of the priesthood and to talk to the Lord for her.
A priest and prophet of the Lord. She went and sought them out for understanding. So what does that say about her as a woman? What does that say about her as a woman? Sis. Yeah. You can say she's righteous. I'm not necessarily going to say that she is righteous per se, because technically it's not written. So I'm not going to say that per se. Sis, you want to give it a shot?
Because she was of the people, her life was simple. Her lifestyle was simple. And it was very easy. They didn't have to go like Esau climbing trees and, stuff like that.
Salaki, sis, say that last part for me one more time, Baba Kashai.
I just said that it was easy. Life was easy. It was simplistic. She didn't need all of that quote adventure. They call it being adrenaline junkies, but she had a simple life, and she was one who would have loved the brother in the UPK as opposed to the man in the world.
But okay, but you are right, and this question is still for you. Okay, give me more on that, on why she would have loved a brother in the UPK though, because mind you, who she married to, and mind you, the story behind him in the first place. Just as a hint.
But he was her people. It was her nation. She was of that people, and we were playing people, not playing meaning not having any ideas or anything, but we would call it being homebodies. We were
right.
Comfortable at home, and she was comfortable in that. She wanted to have children and, you know, live like she had been raised. You have children, you have a husband, you raise your family, you obey the Most High. She had a simple life.
So, okay, how I want to put this? At that time, was there a lot of followers of the Most High at that time for her to live amongst? Now, keep in mind the time frame where, you know, because we're dealing with Isaac's rib, right? So, was there a lot like her around her?
I wouldn't say so. It was a small community. It wasn't a whole lot of them.
Give or take. Now, we can't necessarily put a number on it. Right, exactly. We can't prove it. But mind you, Abraham had just gotten, you know, Abraham had been, you know, been given the one to get the promise because he separated himself from those who, you know, worship the stars and the planets and, you know, the trees and all that other nonsense. And he said, you know what? No, I'm gonna follow the Most High God like I'm supposed to, right? So he received the promise. Isaac came up. So my point is with that. Now, of course, can't go too far into it, but I mean, how big is the nation at that time in the first place? That's what I'm asking, because there is a seed line, there is a nation of our people.
But Salaki, so I know there wasn't a whole bunch of us, but Abraham did send his person to go to his family to bring back Rebecca. So
Right.
I wouldn't say that there was a whole lot of us, because and actually, because Israel, the Israelites hadn't been, so it's Jacob and Isaac, and so it wasn't a whole. I don't think it was a whole lot of it.
We had enough for at least priests and prophets.
Absolutely.
Right. We had enough for at least priests and prophets, and then, you know, basically to continue this story of which, you know, we continuing on, right? Right. So what kind of woman does that also say, though? Because it's basically, the point I'm making is basically a small community of us that are actually keeping this, that are actually following this lifestyle, right? And the type of woman that Rebecca was being reflected is that Rebecca was about this lifestyle. She's about being a UPK sister. And you basically did, you know, you was right. Like, I'm not negating that. But, you know, she was just about her brother and sisterhood. She's about the Most High. What Isaac taught her, from which he learned from Abraham, she was about it.
So
Go ahead.
It's like us. It's like the UPK.
Exactly.
It's just,
exactly.
We are, you know, if you count all of us together, which we don't do, but I mean, we are a small community compared to, quote, the Christians on the earth. But we are about that life.
Yeah, everybody Christian.
Yeah.
Period.
We about the life of the UPK.
No, right, exactly. So we all got an understanding of that. All right, where was we at? 28. So real quick, just quick little recap. What's the significance between describing Isaac's love with Esau and Rebecca's love for Jacob? Go ahead, young man.
Because Esau, since he's different, he has to do something to be able to gain that kind of love. Whether, on the other hand, Jacob, since he's of the people, it just comes natural. You just have to work for it.
And that's actually very well put. All right, go ahead and read on.
Verse 29.
Uh-huh.
and Jacob sawed pottage,
Mm-hmm.
and Esau from the field, and he was faint.
Read that again.
And Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint.
Okay.
Verse 30. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint.
Now, read that again, starting from where it says, I pray thee.
I pray thee, with that same red pottage.
What color pottage?
Red.
What is that? Red pottage. What's that mean? What's that mean? Go ahead, sis.
It's not done. The meat is raw. You know,
It's still right. It's still red. It's still raw. It's not all the way done cooked. Damn near like Esau, if I may. But so he wants that red meat. He's so hungry. I don't even care that it's not all the way done. Now, we already described what kind of hunter Esau is, because granted, you know, like we said, we went over earlier, people trying to say that the so-called Arabian man is Esau. But we know he ain't that type of hunter. Hell, that doggone man be flexing with some cheetahs and lions and bears. I be seeing they straight flex with the type of animals they be like personally owning like pet pets, riding the bear. They worse than the doggone Russians, if I may. They worse than them because the Russians will kill them themselves. Because of course, a Russian, you know, that's Esau too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So identify who the hunter is, but then y'all be seeing the Arabs eat some raw meat. I never seen it. I mean, hell, I was in Afghanistan. I never seen it. You ever seen that here in America?
Yeah. Come.
The Arabs eating raw meat?
No.
Oh, you had some, young man?
If I may, I was going to say that Esau's the only one, like, after they hunt, they would eat of the heart right after just killing it. I don't see anybody else doing that.
Nah, facts. God, that's heavy. You exactly right. So I remember my doggone, if I may, just sidebar, you know, my going into my personal life just a little bit. My mother's side, you know, they eat Esau. And I went hunting. I went duck hunting. This is when I was in the world. I went duck hunting with some of my mom's brothers, and you know what the young man just brought up is exactly right. They try to get me to eat it raw, and I was like, man, I'll try it, but you better put that doggone thing on the skillet. Like, you already got the oven going. We just plucked the whole doggone thing. Like, we about to eat the bird. Why I got to eat it raw? Like, put it on the skillet at least. And, you know, back and forth a good like 10, 15 minutes. My uncle finally did it. And I ate the heart. I will say that. Now, mind you, I was in the world. But still, mind you as well, duck is an unclean bird in the first place. So that's why, you know, I was in the world. But, like that is their thing. I witnessed that myself. Did you go hunting with them as well?
No, I never got my license.
Oh, I mean, they took me without it, but anyway. But that's what I'm saying. That really is the way that they do it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the things, like, don't get me wrong, a lot of things that you see in these movies are over exaggerated, but the basis of what they are portraying is pretty accurate. Where they really believe that, you know, you eat the heart of the wolf and you just take on the predatory, you know, attributes of that. The only attributes I see them taking of any predator is just becoming a doggone predator of your children. But it's a lot, because they are a wolf in sheep's clothing. If y'all understand what I'm saying, Most High in Christ. But okay, we're gonna go ahead and read on.
Therefore was his name called Edom.
So why was he called Edom?
Because he ate of the red meat.
So Esau's nation is just named because they forefather ate of raw pottage. Well, that sucks. Go ahead, sis. You got something real quick.
So if I may, out of all of the beasts that the Most High put on the face of this earth, 4 legs or 2, they are the only ones that kill without justification. A wolf kills when he's hungry. A lion, they kill when they're hungry. They kill when they're being attacked. But Esau will just kill. He just kills. He has a bloodlust that he just cannot feel. He just kills.
We'll talk about that after class. All right, go ahead and read on.
Verse 31. And Jacob said, "Sell me these days thy birthright."
So Esau came to Jacob to eat his pottage that wasn't even fully cooked. And just like any brother out there, especially if I don't really fuck with you, but that is his brother. Man, hold on now. You want something on mine? Like, what am I gonna get in return? That ain't Israel. That ain't blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. I don't know what it is. See me one more time, Bubba Shot. I don't know what it is. So Jacob said to his brother Esau, on the left, he said, "Man, listen, I'll give you this pottage. But in exchange, you got to give me your birthright. And then you can have it." Good. You had something, sis? Huh? Yeah, Bubble Shot. You had something, sis?
Nah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So, Jacob just like any other Israelite. Like, man, I ain't just gonna give nothing up for free. Like, we might be family, we might be friends, but at the end of the day, I still gotta get mine. Like, this is my get down right here. You want a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So go ahead and read read verse 32, Bubba Kashad. It's a while, don't rush.
Verse 32.
And
Esau said, "Behold, I'm at the point to die."
Okay, so mind you, we got a thing of pottage and a birthright that's on the table for trade right now. You understand the scenario I'm laying out right now?
Calm.
Okay, this is what we just read. Esau said, "I am at the point to die." Read on.
"And what profit shall this birthright do to me?"
He said, "What the hell is a birthright? It is damn near worthless to me. My birthright don't mean shit. It's halaki. What does this even mean? I'm about to die. I can't even, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even reap my birthright, we can say. I can't even benefit from it. Because, of course, we all know that Esau is all about immediate results. Here and now. He don't give a damn what's going to come down in the future. He's worried about eating and prospering right now. That's why so many doggone million and billionaires kill themselves when they lose their money in the Wall Street. Because they so worried about making money down the line that if they lose a couple $1 million today, even though they still got $18 million in the doggone bank, I can't keep on making that money down, today. I'm just going off myself. I don't know what to do with myself. If I made good riddance. But anyway, go ahead. Read on.
Verse 33.
And
Jacob said, "Swear to me this day." And he swore unto him.
And Jacob said, "Man, swear to me." Swear to me I can get this. And Esau did what?
And he sold his birthright unto Jacob.
For some pottage. For a morsel of meat. Look, find it, pull that verse from me, Baba Kashad.
What is it called?
For a morsel of meat. Just look that up. A morsel of meat, KJV. It'll come up. This is what Esau traded his birthright for. Now, my question to the room, my question to online, it's a lot here. I haven't been checking the Facebook feed. I'm about to get on it right now just to make sure we ain't had no questions or anything like that. But if somebody gives up their birthright for a morsel of meat, for some raw meat, when you can essentially rule the world for everlasting life, is essentially what Esau could have gotten. Mind you, if the Lord had willed it in the first place, do you even think that individual is even worthy of it? Worthy of that birthright, mind you, to be more specific for some people? Go ahead, sis, you had something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, obviously he didn't care about that. I mean, he probably, to him it was just like probably whatever. I mean, if he would trade it for something so it's insignificant.
Because like now, you had just came into the class. I had just said that Esau's about to hear it now. He's not worried about tomorrow, next week, next year. He about right. Am I gonna profit today? And that's so. What you're saying, literally just lines up with what I had, what I had already said before you came into the class. That, he ain't worried about a birthright. In fact, he ain't even worried about no type of contract. Can anybody give me an example to show that Esau ain't worried about a contract? Go ahead, sis.
All those treaties that he that they made with like natives and basically everybody, and they broke every single one.
Con, did you want to add on to that?
Salaki.
Did you want to add on to
No,
that,
I was
sir?
just gonna say, yeah, Khan, sisters, what she bringing out is definitely right. I forget how many numbers. What was the number when we brought it on?
Yeah, man, look that up for me. If I may, I believe it was
over 500, right, or something.
it was either 350 or 550. It's north of one of those two.
Yeah.
North American treaties.
Yeah, that they made with the Native Indians, and it just shows that when it comes to Esau's word, even with them promising 40 acres and a mule, you know what I'm saying, after slavery.
Mm.
Shit, 40, I don't know about a mule right now, but 40 acres is worth a ton of money in America right now. So just the fact that our oppressor would never honor any contract, because you just look at sports, you understand? A lot of people get mad at these brothers for doing what they do in their contract, you know what I'm saying, and positioning themselves to win or be in a better position for them to make money, is because Esau will sign you for, for example, in football, will sign you for $100 million, but will put in a contract where he can release you, or if you know what I'm saying, at a certain point,
or with some sort of stipulation.
Where if he doesn't want to pay you that money, and he look like, well, this person ain't worth this, he gives you your value or whatever, and look at you like, well, yeah, I don't want to pay this, he'll cut you. Your contract is
Fact.
in football is not guaranteed, or in NBA or basketball or whatnot. Excuse me. Just
anything,
any
type of
contract, and I use sports always because people get mad at the leverage that the players use, you know what I'm saying, holding out and requesting trades and doing things.
Right.
They always get criticized, but Esau will trade you with the quickness. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And put you in a position to where he's not gonna honor his contract with you. You know what I'm saying? If there's a way he can get out of it, look at Andy Hernandez, you know what I'm saying? You know, obviously what he did was wrong, but knowing that money was going to his family, and that white man, Robert Kraft, fought to not pay that man his money, you know, his family the money.
Right.
Because, you know, it was something where he committed suicide. It made his conviction whatever, you know what I'm saying, to where his family will receive the money. So Esau goes back to that cunning title that he has associated, whether it be a hunter or whatever he does. He's crafty in everything that he do. So when it comes to negotiations, you can look at all of the presidents and all of the promises that they get elected on helping our people, and there's a such thing as a verbal contract. You get what I'm saying?
Right. No, right.
Your word is supposed to hold weight. If you say you're going to do something and you get in office and well, I can't do it for this reason, I can't do it for that reason, you're violating your contract. So not only did he do the Native Americans who officially wrote contracts with, he's done it to us as well in so many different sectors of our encounters with Esau that at this point, you understand, his word has never been nothing. You know what I'm saying? He's a devil, and that's why we call him a devil, because he's a deceiver.
Right.
He deceives the people into believing that, you understand, he's going to honor his word and live up to the agreements in which he's trying to figure out, right when he make that agreement, he's trying to figure out a loophole on how to get out. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to figure out a way out, a way to not fulfill his obligation. And it just goes to think of us, and if I may, Salakia for being
No, go ahead, sir.
It's you. Our women in America, he'll give you the money for you to have affordable housing, but you can't have a male in your household.
Right.
So even in these contracts, these stipulations like you brought out, it's so extreme, you know what I'm saying? And you're just trying to get some affordable housing. So you're willing to say, I won't do this or I won't do that. You know what I'm saying? To be able to just get a goddamn house.
Right.
Or an apartment or a shack, whatever the hell he's going to give you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Feed your children.
Just to feed your children.
Right.
So it puts you in a situation where, once again, like I say, these contracts are either some extreme stipulations to where it's not really favorable for you, but it forces you to have to make a deal with the so-called devil. You know what I'm saying? So when these people talk about doing deals with the devil, you're not doing a deal with Satan, a spirit. You're doing a deal with a devil in the flesh, because this person is out for blood. He's out to make sure that if you violate these terms of any agreement of his, think about your mortgage. He's drafted up. You can pay into your mortgage for X amount of years. You miss X amount of payments, that house gone. You get what I'm saying? So these are all the type of deals and contracts that our oppressor has, you know what I'm saying? And he puts us in these positions to where we're at his mercy, and he has no mercy. So it's like
no, facts. Now, young man, I did see that you had it, but I'm just gonna add one more little point off of what you brought out. You know, it sparked up something I had learned when I was in the military. Sis, you're a mother of a combat veteran, of a brother that was out here, serving this country, if I may. But did you know that if your son, Lord forbid, Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shah, that this didn't happen to your son, but while he was in combat, if he would have been shot and killed, they would have done a thorough investigation to make sure that it wasn't suicide in any shape or form. Whether he would have been trying to save somebody's life, but if they would have, let's say, gone through his phone records and his notes, and anything gave an identifier that he wanted to commit suicide. So before we pushed out for any type of a deployment, there's something that's called an SGLI. Just a quick little side note that everybody has to, fill out. Basically, what that SGLI is if you sign your benefit, sign up a beneficiary to receive a certain amount of money if you are killed in combat. For example, my little brother and my sister, they would have split the maximum, which was 400,000. So each one would have gotten 200,000 if I would have been killed in combat. If they would have found any type of discrepancy that on is discrepancy the right word? It's a lot. My vocabulary ain't the best, but if they would have found anything to hint that I was suicidal, they would have used that to keep my brother and sister, whom of which, at that time you were still in high school, so
15, 16.
you was 15, 16 years old. So that meant Alexandria was 12, 13 years old, give or take, between 12 and 14, whatever. They just numbers anyways, because we ain't talking about my number. But they would have deprived them. Hey, just like what everybody wants to say, thank you for your service. You fighting for my freedom. You doing this, that, and the other. All that goes out the window when we talking about money. When we talk about this contract.
Right.
This contract says if you suicidal, you kill yourself on purpose. Oh no, that money out the window. Even though that, I'm pulling rounds down range to, make you richer, billions of dollars richer. But if I get killed in the process, whether it was legitimate, what is it called, indirect suicide or not, now my family is deprived. Let's say my beneficiaries would have been, a wife with umpteen million children that I had. So you're going to take that money away from them, even though I might have had issues with depression, even though that I didn't try to get myself killed, but in the courts, because, mind you, keep in mind Tamir Rice as I go with this. Because Tamir Rice murderers walked away. No prosecution. They walking away. Mind you. So on that same judicial system, on that same law-based system, if they find any evidence that I would have been suicidal and I just got picked off, a bomb would have dropped on me, what have you, they would say, oh no, fine print says, just like with the Native Americans, fine print says, just like with the NBA, fine print says, just like the NFL, fine print says, Major League Baseball, fine print says, and we can go on and on and on. Fine print says, there's always some way to get out of this contract for them, but not for you though. You try to pull out, you got to pay a penalty, mind you. This is who we dealing with. This is our oppressor. This ain't something that's just modern day. Do your doggone history.
Right.
You don't even have to do just your history of American history. Go back to the very roots of the Greeks and the Romans. It's the same customs. It's the same. They dealt with other nations the same way at that time, today. Ain't nothing new. Y'all understand? Where was he at? Where was he? Where was we at?
Verse 34 now.
Okay. So, with that being said, we're going to wrap up 33 with this last thing. Esau ended up hating Jacob because it makes sense out of this. Because Esau signed a contract with Jacob a verbal contract, just like what the officer brought out. Gave a verbal contract with Jacob that, yo, you can have my birthright.
Right.
And when everything was all said and done, and Isaac passed out the doggone the blessings, Esau hated Jacob for it. But nigga, you gave it to me though. This was our deal. You exchanged a full belly for the time for an everlasting life. Which, if you ask me, makes complete sense on why the Most High wouldn't want to choose Esau in the first place. It's a lot here. But all right, so go ahead and read 34.
Verse 34.
Uh-huh.
Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up, and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
He hated his. Why did he despise his birthright though? Why?
Because it wasn't a now and then, it was more just.
No. Good. At this point, where is his birthright? Who has possession of the birthright?
Because Jacob has his birthright.
Because Jacob now has the birthright. So now he despises it even more. I mean, first of all, he was already ready to let it go, but now he hates this birthright. He despises it because it was mine. Basically, in other words, he realized, like, God damn it, I had the whole world and I gave it up for, pull that verse, read that verse, morsel of meat that I told you to read. Go ahead, sis.
I'm gonna say it's kind of funny too because like if you have brothers and sisters, if you ever notice when there's something that they have, like let's say it's a toy or something, you didn't want it until they had it. Like as soon as they have it, all of a sudden it's like you wanted that toy, but you didn't even care about the toy until they had it. That's crazy, yeah.
That's literally Esau. And you know what? If I may, you have it.
Come on.
Go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field.
No. Morsel of meat.
Oh, morsel of meat. Oh, Slakia.
Yeah, I believe that's in Romans, right, sir?
Which one?
Morsel of meat, for Esau sold his birthright for a
I'm
morsel
not
of meat.
sure.
Oh, go ahead. All right, go ahead.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
Ain't nobody else more profane than Esau. Why is he so profane? Look at the definition of profane. Go ahead, sir. The water. Read that one more. Read that verse one more time while the officer is doing that.
I got it right now. So
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Definition: profane.
Go ahead and read that verse.
No, I got it, but I don't want to read the right one.
No, right. That's what I'm saying. I understand.
I got it right now. You want it?
You ready now?
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Treat something sacred, in parentheses, with irreverence or disrespect.
So
That's a verb in which they use it.
check on knowledge. What was profane? What did Esau do that was profane? Young man.
Should trade his birthright for
What about that act was profane? I see.
He traded it for red pottage.
What was profane about that?
Giving away his birthright.
What was profane? What was sacred?
His birthright was secret.
How was it sacred? What made it sacred? I'm coming to you, sir. Salaki.
I want to say because it came from his father Isaac.
Okay, so what made that sacred though? It came from Isaac, but what made it sacred because it came from Isaac? Take a step back. That's my only hint I'm gonna give you. Take a step back. You think you have it? Hold on. You think you have it? It's a lot, kid. So I'm gonna go to the system.
No, sir.
You think you got it? What was sacred about it?
It was, I guess, his covenant to his son.
Okay, but you like you're so around the corner. It's not even funny. No. Go ahead, sis.
Because it was a blessing from the Most High.
It came from the Most High. The Most High gave that. That was a promise between the Most High and Abraham to Abraham's seed, of which it was going to follow with Isaac's seed. And technically, Esau was going to get it, but he gave it up for a morsel of meat. You could have had the whole entire earth until if time ever even does end. But it don't. Look at the clock. It's a circle. It just repeats and repeats and repeats. You could have had that for an everlasting cycle. And you gave that up for one full meal. It's a lie, kid. If I may, read all of these doggone books. Read the Bible. Really read the Apocrypha as well. There's so many stories about brothers who went hungry, was killed because they wouldn't eat certain foods, all because they knew that that food was not worth my birthright. Which almost goes right back to Rebecca, that Rebecca chose the right one in the first place. But how did Rebecca choose the right one, though? What did she do? She did something to know. She didn't do something to know. She was already doing something in the first place to know, to basically identify the two. Can anybody tell me what that is?
When she went to the...
It's not when she went to, but it's the fact that she was doing something. It was something that was ongoing. Because she did it, she already showed that she was doing it in the first place when she went and inquired about when they were in her womb. So anything after that is what? What was she doing after that?
I want to say this is just a guess, but I want to say that she was just paying attention to their behaviors.
No. Sis?
I was going to say she was following orders.
Whose orders?
I would say the Most High.
She's following the Most High's orders, but I need more than that. What else was she doing? You're on the right track, though. I want to give you a hint. The hint I want to give you will basically be a dead giveaway. Anybody else?
She was being obedient to the Most High by doing what the prophets and the priests told her.
Still on the right track. Like you damn near hopscotch, skip away. Like you right there. All right, let me ask you this. I know all three of y'all hands should come up. Did she just go that one time that she wanted to know about what was going on in her womb? Or did it stop there? I should see everybody's hands at that point. Oh, exactly. If you raise your hand next time, sis. But exactly, she was about this. Like we discussed earlier in the class. She was about this truth. She was about the blessing that Isaac got. She was really about that. So she did what she had to do to prove that she was about it, which is when you have an inquiry. No, you got it. Go ahead, young man.
Keep going and asking the priest and prophets of the Lord, what's going on? What should I do? Kind of thing.
What should she do about what?
About Esau and Jacob. Like,
is it that specific? Is it that specific?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so then she would go to them about what then?
Basically, just about Esau.
So only Esau. It's specifically only about Esau that she would go to the Lord about. I see.
I would think so because he's different. He's not like the other. He's not. He's different from everybody else.
No. Sis?
She would inquire the Most High or the prophets and the priests about how she was to live her life, just like we didn't go into class.
No. Sis? Did you want to give it a shot?
I was just gonna say she continued to seek counsel for whatever she needed.
Give the sister a hand. Everything. Every and any little thing. One way to put one way that you can prove it. Oh man, I didn't write that down like a dummy. Look up where Rebecca says that she will take the curses upon herself. Sir, do you know what verse I'm talking about?
Say it one more time.
When Rebecca was telling Jacob, put the what was it, a goat garment around him, pose as Esau.
Yeah. You got some what verses there?
Yeah, do you know where that's at?
Yeah, that's in where you were at in
Because we just finished up 25, so is it in 26 or 27? I think it's in 26.
It's in 20.
I got it right
Or
here.
maybe.
I want to say 27.
Yeah, I got it.
Go ahead, young man. Let me hear it.
The book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 13.
Okay, hold on. Go ahead.
And his mother said unto him,
There you go.
Upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice and go fetch me then.
Now, why is it that she is saying that with so much confidence? That she's saying that if she's basically saying, we'll get a little bit of context. Go up to verse. Where should we start? We'll start from verse 6. Go ahead.
Verse 6.
Uh-huh.
And Rebekah spake unto Jacob, her son,
Uh-huh.
saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, verse 7, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat, and bless thee before the Lord before my death.
Okay, so right there, that's already saying that Rebecca had overheard Isaac speaking to Esau that he's getting ready to give Esau a blessing before he dies. Okay, but before that, he wants venison. He wants some deer before he gets that blessing. Did you have something to say?
No.
All right, go ahead, young man. Read on.
Verse 8, Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that I command thee.
Go ahead.
Verse 9.
That's plain as day. Go ahead.
Go now to the flock, and fetch me from thence 2 kids of the goats,
Mm-hmm.
and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth.
Uh-huh.
Verse 10, And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death.
So Rebecca is giving him a whole plan listen, Jacob, listen, this is what I heard. This is what we're gonna do. You understand? Because I mean, come on now, like this little red motherfucker he don't deserve this shit. It's a lot, but he don't deserve this. I know it, you know it, the whole people know it, sir. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the Lord. First off, Rebecca already knew what the Most High had told her in regards to Jacob and Esau.
Right. No,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? So it wasn't. Everybody always say, and this is heavy. And Salaki, if I may bring it out, because they always want to say, Christians want to say, well, Jacob tricked Esau out of his birthright.
Right, but
So
go ahead.
to your point, Salaki, if I may,
no, sir.
this is
Please,
big, this
please.
is heavy, because first off, it goes back to what you said. Esau sold his birthright first and foremost.
That's not even first, but go ahead.
No, what I mean by that's before he went in the so-called trick happened.
No, right. I'm
But
trying.
what I'm saying as far as Rebecca, obviously she knew that Jacob had to, receive the blessing over Esau and receive that birthright. You get what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is Christians always forget the part where Esau sold his birthright.
Right. No,
Meaning,
right.
if I make an agreement and I say, this is yours, I don't care for it no more, whatever he had to do, because me and you made the agreement, that's where it doesn't stop right there, because Isaac still has to honor it. You get what I'm saying? Isaac could have, obviously, would have, possibly, and we're just insinuating, it's not in the scriptures, may have shut it down because of the fact that he knows the oldest gets the birthright. You get what I'm saying?
No, right.
So the fact that Rebecca knew, you understand that the Lord wanted Jacob to receive it. Jacob knew it was important to have it. Esau and Isaac were kind of on the outs as far as Esau didn't honor it. Isaac didn't know that it was Jacob, but it wasn't trickery like the Christians want to say. Because for one, Esau should have never been upset because he sold it.
No,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? He should have known that at the end of the day, you just did something that was, that ruined you.
No,
And
right.
your
Facts.
offspring. And you know what I'm saying?
No, kind.
So either way it goes to show that the Lord is behind everything that we do.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? So
Kind.
even though we make decisions every day, it all played out, guess what? The way the Most High wanted it to be.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Kind.
So no Christian should ever fix their mouth to say someone tricked and lied like he was conniving or cunning to receive the birthright, because as Salaki, as people say, I don't want to sound Christian, this was God's plan. You know what I'm saying?
No, right.
The Most High wanted Jacob to receive it anyway. The way, the way it played out, it just so happened it played out the way it did.
Right.
So it's just like your life, right? In your mind, you're thinking you're gonna be whatever you're gonna be, but then here comes the Most High guiding you and directing you into the truth. You get what I'm saying?
No, kind of.
So the same thing happened to Jacob and them back then, where Jacob was the second son who doesn't receive the birthright, who doesn't get, according to what we looking for, the promise, it's supposed to be Esau to inherit it because he's the oldest. You understand? And we know that the Most High has different plans. It doesn't matter about the order of what traditionally things happen. It doesn't matter. Traditionally, you're supposed to be following the footsteps of your family. Your family all was Christians, so you're supposed to be a Christian. No, you can break the mold because guess what? The Lord has a different plan for you. Just like in the case of Jacob and Esau. The Lord had a different plan for Jacob to inherit the promise and be the chosen seed. You know what I'm saying?
No,
carry his word. You get what I'm saying?
No, kind of.
So at the end of the day, I just want to dispel that Christian belief that it was some deception that's just the means to the ends. You get what I'm saying?
No, right.
It had to happen. This is the way it was to happen.
Right.
You had to come into truth. Some people have to smoke crack and be addicted. You get what I'm saying? And realize, well, damn, I'm destroying my life. Some people have to kill. Some people have to go to jail. Some people have to do certain things. It's not the orthodox way and the traditional way is for you to just wake up one day and everything is laid out for you and you have a smooth path. Your father is an Israelite. Your father's in the truth. He teaches you the truth. You get what I'm saying? And you just come into truth because it's all you know. But that's not the way it happens. Sometimes you got to go through things. You got to be a Christian first and realize Christianity is a goddamn house of Satan. You get what I'm saying?
No, that's right.
You got to go through these things in order for you to see that this is what happened. Esau had to sell his damn birthright. He had to be he had to be starving and treated as if it's nothing in order for Jacob to get his moment to capitalize.
No, right, right.
At this moment right now, let me see if this man, my brother, appreciates what he has. He didn't appreciate it, and Jacob capitalized. His mother already knew. The Most High knew what was supposed to happen. Jacob understood he needed to get that, and that's just what it was.
No. The water, sir, for your input. The water. But off of what the officer just brought out was so heavy. One thing is after everything that we just read, let's go back to the very beginning of the class where we go to the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 23. Read that end portion when you got it, young man.
The end portion?
The end portion. Starting off the very last semicolon.
Con. And the elder shall serve the younger.
Does anybody not understand that from everything that we had already read? In fact, how about this? Go up to verse 22. Read all verse 22. Go ahead.
Verse 22.
Uh-huh.
And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
Uh-huh.
And she went to inquire of the Lord.
Read that last part one more again.
And she went to inquire of the Lord.
Read it one more time.
And she went to inquire of the Lord.
She went and inquired of the Lord. And part of the Most High's response was, goes back to the bottom, Salakia, of verse 23.
The elder shall serve the younger.
Who is the elder? Sis.
The elder is Esau.
The elder is Esau. Who's the younger? Jacob. Now, what the officer was bringing out was 100%. He was not deceived whatsoever. But this right here goes to show in itself that there was no deceit, but to go back on his Drake quote himself, this was God's plan in the first place. Salakia, I ain't that funny, but I tried. But this was God's plan. This is how the Most High had even intended it in the first place. Let Esau come out first. But that's the one that's going to serve you, black man, you Hispanic man, you Native American man. These two twins that came out, the first one was a so-called white man. He came out first. And if you continue to read through Genesis, which I do encourage y'all, Salakia, we do got 10 minutes. Salakia, one more time. I do encourage y'all. I just want to ask y'all, just Baba Kasha, those of y'all that are on Facebook, make sure that y'all like and share, this video, push this out to all the four corners of the earth, all the groups that y'all are associated with. You know what I'm saying? Like and share it. Make sure that all of our brothers and sisters, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, have an opportunity to actually, receive this truth, receive these types of breakdowns, you know what I'm saying? So that we can dispel this terrible mass hypnosis that Christianity and Muslim, and we'll just go back to Christianity, because even the Muslims, they believe that, they know the Bible. They'll break it down to you damn selves, but you know what I'm saying? Kind of okay, I'm track. They long story short, they Christians themselves. But make sure you like and share the video, like our page as well. You know what I'm saying? Help us spread this word, because all over on the four corners of the earth, we gotta spread this truth to all of our brothers and sisters, so that we can provoke the Most High to send Yahushua. Yahushua, like, we ain't waiting on Yahushua or Jesus Christ, as some of y'all may know him as. Yahushua or Jesus Christ is waiting on us. He waiting on us to get ourselves together. Like, we ain't waiting on him. It's the other way around. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of the dispelling that we are doing in the ISUPK. You understand what I'm saying? And then also on the YouTube front, make sure that y'all like, share, and subscribe to our page, ISUPK Nevada. Right? We're ISUPK Nevada. Salaki. Yeah, kind of Salaki. We're ISUPK Nevada on YouTube. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, so that we can increase our numbers. The same thing with the Facebook, any platform. Hell, if y'all out here on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever flip flop that y'all got, to help promote this word and spread out to the four corners of the earth. Do your part. It's all a fishing process. You know what I'm saying? Help us fishermen, set out our bait for, our brothers and sisters to reel them in out of, the world that they live in. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, we're going to go back to where we was at. Where was we at, Baba Kasha? What was the last thing we just read? Literally the last thing we just read. We was on 23, correct? We just read 23. That's where we was at. All right. The water. Okay. So back to what I was saying, what the officer was, had brought out, he was right on point. You know what I'm saying? You just take it a step further. This was already prophesied before they was even born in the first place. So for Esau to even sell his birthright was already ordained, was already predetermined. Look up the precept that says that I knew thee in the womb. Look that up for me, Baba Shah. And with that being said, with the young man that's about to bring out, it's not necessary. The Most High doesn't only know Israel in the womb. He doesn't only know Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in the womb. He knows all of us in the womb, and that's why basically, the Most High was from the very beginning to give us the whole breakdown. Listen, these people, they're gonna be like this. That people is gonna come down like this. The Most High knows how long it's gonna take before we return to this earth. You know what I'm saying? The Most High knows what manner of people, what kind of men, what kind of nations, what kind of people, what kind of families, what kind of children that they are going to bring up. And this is a twofold scripture, because mind you as well, like this is directed towards the Israelites, the priests and prophets of the Lord, but it's also twofold in itself. If you break it down, this also. It's also talking about the other nations as well. You think that the Most High is only focusing on the priests and prophets of the Lord? No. Because he knows Esau's spirit, because he knows his father. He knows who he was before. You understand? A tree is going to be the same tree that its father was, which is the seed it comes from. It's going to do the same thing. If it bears bad seed, which, you know, if it bears bad fruit, which that seed continues, is that line of apple seed, we'll say apple tree, eventually just gonna die out. Because essentially, them doggone, you know, anything that helps spread them seeds, the birds, the insects, what have you, even the people, because I mean, hell, one of the main sources of spreading the seed, the main sources is no, I'm tracking. That's a like it. The main sources of spreading the seed is, if y'all don't know, but to put it in layman's term, is a lot of our doo-doo, whether it's human doo-doo, bird doo-doo, rabbit doo-doo, whatever. Anything that will eat that fruit, you help contribute to replanting a tree. You know what I'm saying? So with that, go ahead and read that verse for me, Baba Kashab.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee.
Oh, hold on. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. Now, why is that in itself a manifold verse? I basically already broke it down, but who can check on knowledge? Tell me. Young man, you got it. Come on.
Well, because when you die, you go to the Lord, and he sends you back into whoever's room that is, and he knows which room he puts you in.
I need more than that. Like, you're right, but I need a little bit more than that. Go ahead, sis.
He knows what lineage you come from, and
Lineage. I need more than that. Young man.
Your spirit? He knows what your spirit is?
Yeah. You can base to specify the individual spirit, because that spirit, when your flesh lets go of your spirit, it gets sent up to the Most High. The Most High gonna judge you, and He know it. How is the Most High gonna judge your spirit if He don't know it? You understand that? So when He sends you back forth onto the earth to live out that judgment, how do you get back on the earth? What's the first step? What's the very first step?
Getting back on the earth?
Yeah. What's the first step to get back on the earth?
You see the Most High.
No. You know what? I'm gonna make this question a little bit more difficult since we only got 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes. It's the same way that Yahushua got here. How did Yahushua's spirit get here on earth? How did Yahushua himself get here on earth, sis? He was conceived. Get a sister in the hand. A man and a woman had sex, and the Most High said, "That's your mama, that's your daddy."
Right.
And that was Joseph and Mary. You understand? Y'all understand that? No disputes, no questions, nothing at all. Now read that verse one more time, Baba Kashah.
Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee.
Uh-huh.
And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee.
Okay, so now mind you, like I said, this is a manifold verse, because why would it only be us in particular, the Israelites in particular, that He knew us? You understand that? Can anybody tell me real quick, last question, can anybody tell me how not only did He know us to sanctify us, to divide us, but what does that mean for everybody else? What does that mean for Moab, Ham, Elam, Edom, all the other nations? Go ahead, young man. Come on. Bring it. You got it.
Because we're
I see it on your forehead.
Because we're God's chosen people, and they're not.
That's not what I'm looking for. Sis, in the pink. I was playing. Sister Amanabot.
He knows everybody. He knows everything about everybody because he forms everybody.
He knew when we was all created in the first place, first and foremost. But then also, secondly, Salakia, sir, you did have your hand raised.
I was just gonna say that he only knows us for one, and that he only cares about knowing us. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he knows us in the womb means that we're the only people that matter. Doesn't matter. The other nations don't matter.
Salakia, if I may, my question was, how is that manifold on the sense of he knows us, but he also knows the other nations?
How is that manifold? What do you mean by manifold?
Meaning, it's how do you describe it? Basically, yeah, two-edged sword, manifold. It's multiple meanings to it.
Only knowing us and knowing the other nations.
Because now we know that in that verse it is specified to just us. But what's another side to that verse as well? If you were to not necessarily pertain it to the other nations, but if you reading that, what does that say about the other nations in itself?
Well, it says that they are nothing, pretty much. If him only saying that he knows us in the womb, it means that he doesn't care about the other nations.
Read that one more time, Baba Salaki. Read that one more time.
Before I formed thee in thy belly, I knew thee.
Uh-huh.
And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee.
Read 2 verses above. 2 verses. You should be able to just scroll up.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Where are you at?
Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5.
Jeremiah 1 and 5?
Come on.
Okay. So 1 and 5. I mean,
You want verse 3? It came in those days. Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, until the end of the 11th year. Zedekiah, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, until carrying away of Jerusalem captive in the 5th month. What you want? You said 2 verses up.
No, right. So now read verse 4.
Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying,
Now read verse 5.
Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thee camest forth out the womb, I sanctified thee. I ordained thee a prophet unto the nation.
Okay, so off the rip, we know exactly who he is speaking to.
Right.
Which is, it came in the days of Jehoiakim, the son of Hosea.
Josiah.
It's Josiah, king of Judea, until the 11th year. So we know who he's speaking to, right? But the flip side of that is what I'm saying on how that could be manifold is if he knows who they are, how else is the Most High able to speak against the other nations on their mannerisms, who they are and how they are, on how, because they're so filthy, according to the Most High? How is it that he's able to speak about them in any context, whether he, you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm asking? You got it, sis?
Because he is the creator of all things, everything. He knows everybody that's in the womb. And yes, we are his own people, but he knows everything about everybody.
All right. Just real quick, we're gonna jump to now. Kind of. We'll hit this last one. Book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 1. Now, keep in mind what we just read in Jeremiah, right?
Now the book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord God had made.
Which the Lord God had what?
Had made.
Had what?
Had made.
Had what?
Had made.
So, didn't the Most High, he created all the beasts, right?
Come.
What is everybody in comparison to us?
Just a creation?
They all, go ahead.
A beast.
Essentially everything is an unclean beast in comparison to us. Because aren't we the only ones who can be clean in the first place? Aren't we the only ones who can be holy in the first place? So now in Jeremiah, it didn't necessarily say, the Most High wasn't talking about specifically, I know the other nations as well because I knew them in the womb. But if the Most High knows that there's no other beast on the field, there's no other nation on the earth that is as subtle as Esau, doesn't that also mean that the Most High knows that there ain't nobody that get down like Esau, whether it's today or in the end? Can't you say that? Or not can't you say that, but isn't that what it's saying? So I know you as Esau from the time that you in the womb. I already know you're gonna be a doggone devil. I already know that you're gonna be a little Moabite dog eating motherfucker, Salaki, or an African, cow. I gotta put my head in in a cow's booty. I already know you're gonna do that because that's what your people do.
Right.
That's the people. That is the spirit of your forefather, of your people. You know what I'm saying? Now, with that being said, just for the last time, make sure that if you're on Facebook, you like, share, and subscribe. Push this video, this message out to the four corners of the earth. You know what I'm saying? You put not only just my class, but any other class, cross the line, the Wednesday class, Thursday class, and that comes with anybody that comes up with under the ISUPK banner. You know what I'm saying? And then also for anybody that is viewing on the YouTube, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Help us, push this word out to the four corners of the earth. And with that, I'm gonna pass the class to Precinct Officer Picard. Salaki.
So with that, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel. Amijim, to stand. Amijim Shabbat. Amijim Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah Barakathah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah Barakathah.
Men of Israel. Sar, which means turn. Face the sisters. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Sisters. Amijim, which means to stand. Men Israel. Amijim Shabbat. Amijim Barak.
Yahweh Shemar Elatah Hashem Yahweh Shah.
And with that, class dismissed.
You did it.